All right, so we're back in the cockpit. We're going to go over some munitions today. I noticed as I was doing some of my missions for the DCS Liberation, I didn't know what half this stuff was. So like going through the F11, F8, F1, rearming and refueling thing, like, some of these I know, like some of the air-to-air missiles, I kind of feel like I have down, but what's the difference between the LM and X? What's a CAP 9M? Like, I wasn't sure what all this stuff was. Then you have all your air-to-ground missiles, then all your bombs. There's so many different types of bombs, and then rockets as well. And I kind of wanted to just create a quick video kind of giving an overview of the different ones. Now, some of this I kind of already talked about, like the Fox 1, Fox 2, and Fox 3 missiles and what each one of those mean, but we'll just kind of review it really quickly, just so it's all the information's in one video. If you want to just like, wait, what was that? You don't have to find the video that I mentioned it in the past. But we'll start with air-to-air missiles. There's three types: Fox 1, Fox 2, and Fox 3. Fox 1 are semi-radar guided missiles, meaning there's no radar on the missile itself. It uses the radar and communicates with the aircraft and uses the aircraft radar to track a target. So the aircraft's actually tracking the target and sending that information to the missile, and the missile's taking that information and doing navigation. Oh, incidentally, I should also put the disclaimer out there. I got all of this information from Wikipedia, so I'm not an expert, but it seems legit, so we're going to go with it. All right, so that's the Fox 1s. For the FA18, for our Fox 1s, we have the Sparrows, or AIM 7M, F, and MH. And everything I can find online, basically, the lower it is on the list, the better it is. So M's are great, F's are better, MH's are even better. Obviously, there's probably some advantages. Maybe the 7M's a little lighter, so if you're going with a heavy load, maybe you throw the 7M's versus the Mike Hotels or the Foxtrots. But generally speaking, the higher the letter, I guess, after it, designator, I think is the word I was looking for. After the AIM 7, the higher that is in the alphabet, the better it is. It's kind of how it is. So for our Fox 2s, we have our Sidewinders. So we have the AIM 9s right here. So we got the AIM 9L, M, and X. So things like turn radius, distance, size of the warhead, blah, 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 all those different things that would make a missile awesome, the X's are the best, right, for the Sidewinders. So the Fox 1 was the semi-radar guided missile. The Fox 2 is our heat seekers or IR guided missiles. So these are really close range kind of missiles. And then the AIM 120s is our AMRAAMs. That is our Fox 3s. Those are fully radar guided missiles. So they have their own radar inside the missile. Obviously limited in a certain way. Can be dangerous with friendly fire. So you got to use those carefully, but they are superior to the Sidewinders and Sparrows as far as range is concerned. So maybe the Sparrows, and I can't remember what the range was of the Sparrows, but they might be similar. And it all, obviously, with a missile, the higher you are and the faster you're going, the further that missile will be able to travel. So when you're at 5,000 feet and you're only getting a 10-mile effective range on a missile, but if you're up to 30,000 feet, you might get, a 20 or 15 mile, so it's all dependent on those different variations. So there's no one good standard. So our AIM 120 B's and C's are AMRAAMs, or I can't remember what AMRAAM stands for. Something medium range air-to-air missile. I can't remember what the first A stands for, but whatever. It's our Fox 3s, and these are the ones I prefer. I usually stock up on these. So that's what those are. So the AIM 120s. So we'll go ahead and fit ourselves with actually, and while we're here, we'll talk about what can go on what station. So on station 9 and station 1, or pylon 1 and 9, these are on the outer tips of the wings. The only things that can go there are some smoke pods and your AIM 9X's, or AIM 9s, so your Fox 2s. So we'll go ahead and fit those. They're probably already there with the best of the best. All right, then when you go to station 8 and 7, these are right here underneath the wing. And those have the most versatility, so we're going to skip that and go to pylons 6 and 4. Those are on the cheeks of the aircraft, so right, let me cancel this. Right there. I can't pause it and show you with the mouse, but right below the intake, you can see it there, hopefully. All right, so F8, F1. So that's these, and the only things that can go there are your Fox 3s or Fox 1s. No Fox 2s can go there. So usually throw my AIM-120Cs there. So we'd have 2 Fox 2s, 2 Fox 3s so far. And then in station 7, 8, and 2 and 3, they're all the same as far as what they can hold. So for this, it can actually hold 2 AIM-120s, and the LAU-115 is the launcher, or basically the device that the missile attaches to and launches. So don't worry about the LAU-115. It's really just whatever's after the dash. So we could have 2 AIM-120Cs there. We could have 2 AIM-9Xs, some more sidewinders if we wanted them. We could have, the CAP-9 is a training missile, or just a dummy missile to make it look cool. It doesn't actually do it, like blow up and blow planes out of the sky. So that's completely useless. You can have a single AIM-120C. So why would you want 1 over 2 aircraft weight and drag coefficient, stuff like that? And you can have a single AIM-7, sorry. And then down here we could have a single AIM-9X or a single CAP-9M, or we'll call it the look cool missile. Right. So that's for the air-to-air missiles. That's all of them. So we only have 3 types: your Fox 1, your Fox 2, your Fox 3. For the Fox 1, AIM-7, Fox 2, AIM-9, and Fox 3, AIM-120, which I call AMRAM. So if you hear me in any of these videos and I don't have enough AMRAMs, I'm talking about my Fox 3 fully radar-guided missiles. Okay. Moving on to air-to-ground missiles. So we have several different flavors here. And just like before, you have a different designator off the end of it. And I don't know about the difference between the A and the C, but I think it's going to follow the same motto as the air-to-air missiles. The higher the letter, the better it is. But so we'll start with at the top, the AGM-154s. Those are our JSOWs, or Joint Standoff. I have notes here. Joint Standoff Weapon. So these are air-to-ground missiles. They're GPS guided, very long range. They look kind of weird. We'll throw one on that just so you can see what it looks like. Then coming back here, air-to-ground missiles. So that's the AGM-154s. They are very heavy compared to the other. Instead of a JSOW, you have JDAMs, which we'll see in the bombs section. They're much more capable, but much more heavy and have a higher drag coefficient, so that you'd have some option there. But we'll get into that when we get to the bombs. And to be quite honest, I don't know why this is under air-to-air missiles, because it is not. It is a bomb. It is not a missile. It deploys, and after you deploy it, some wings come out, and it has like INS it has the GPS guided GBU kind of attachment to it, but it flies, so it can turn and stuff like that, but it's a bomb. There's no power behind it, right? As far as I could tell. Then you have your AGM-84Ds. These are harpoons or anti-ship missiles, and they're really kind of cool. After you fire them off, as they approach their target, they hit the deck. They get really, really low to the water, so to avoid radar detection and avoiding getting shot down. And then at the very last second, they pop up and then slam down into the deck. Maybe we'll fire one at one of our carriers just to kind of show you what that looks like. I don't know. Well, maybe I'll do, actually what I'll do is I'll do separate videos of each type, and if you just want to know more about that particular one, then I'll do a video on that. All right, so then the AGM-84E, or Echo, versus Delta. The Delta was the harpoon. The Echo is the SLAM, or Standoff Land Attack Missile. So it's basically the same thing, but it's designed for hitting land targets instead of sea targets. And then these are our AGM-88Cs. I really like these guys. These are our HARMs, or high speed, I think is what the H stands for. Anti-radiation missiles. So they're really good about taking out anything that has radar, really. But really good for SAM sites is what I primarily use them for. But technically, you could use it to shoot a Fox 3 missile coming at you out of the sky. I don't know how maneuverable it is and whether or not it'd be able to do that. Maybe something to try later, but it might be kind of fun to give that a shot. But technically, as far as I'm concerned, they're designed to take out SAM sites because they are air-to-ground missiles. So you're trying to shoot ground targets that have radar, right? So SAM site. Then we have our AGM. We have these two. These are the BRUs are the attachments that they go on. So you can have two AGM 154 Alphas or Charlies, the JSOWs, the GPS guided bombs, and then AGM 65E are Mavericks. Our AGM 65 are our Mavericks, like a true air-to-ground missile out of this whole list. I guess the harpoons and the slams are too, the 84s, the AGM 84s. But for the 65E, that is the laser-guided Maverick, and then the 65 Foxtrot is the IR Maverick. So those are air-to-ground missiles. So a quick review: GPS-guided bomb, harpoon for anti-ship, slam for just shooting down something on the ground. And I'm not sure how the targeting works on that guy or that guy. I'm gonna have to play with that. I'm not sure if it's like radar contact or TV or IR, or I'm not sure. I'll play with those and get more information on that. I actually forgot to look at that on my Wikipedia research. And then we have the HARMs, the 88Cs. Then the AGM 65s are Mavericks. One is laser, one is IR. The benefit over the other, laser is really cool because you can hit moving targets. So if you have a convoy of Humvees and you need to take out that convoy of Humvees or tanks or whatever, you can, as it's moving across the ground with your laser, you can laze the target and the missile will go to that laser designated target. If you mask the laser or the laser turns off, it overheats, gets damaged or whatever, the missile goes dumb and hits the ground. So there's pros and cons for that. You can hit moving targets, where with the IR Maverick, actually, you can. Yes, you can. Actually, on both of these, I think you can. Yeah, okay, never mind. You can hit moving targets on both. But this is kind of more of a fire and forget situation, where the laser, you got to keep that laser going. Or have somebody supply the laser, like JTAC or a friendly aircraft in your wing or whatever. With the IR Maverick, after you get the IR locked up on your FLIR, you say, hey, Maverick, this is your target, and you pass that information over to that, it gets the IR signature and goes for it. So you fire it off, and then you can bank and turn and get out of Dodge. or fire another one, or whatever you got to do. So yeah, some bonus information on that. So that's our air-to-ground missiles. For our bombs, the list is long, but there's more in here, but there's a lot of different flavors of the same kind. So starting up with the CBU 99s is our cluster bombs. Interestingly enough, those are banned by the Geneva Convention. So we're not supposed to do cluster bombing, but hey, at least that's what I read on Wikipedia. But we have them in the game if we need them. Good blanket area. These particular ones are armor penetrating, so they're great for taking out multiple tanks, or I'm thinking maybe even a SAM site, where we can maybe throw us harm at the SAM site to get the search radar out, get that radar to stop transmitting so they can't lock onto us, and then maybe throw a cluster on to kill the launchers and the command posts and the tracking radars and all that other stuff. So I don't know. Maybe we'll play with them. Maybe we won't. Then I'm going to skip the GBU-12s because they're repeated down here. I think all of those are actually, nope. Okay, then we have our MK-20s. Those are, oh, the rock guys I forgot to look up. I'm not sure what those are. I'm not sure what the MK-20s are. They're bombs, but I don't know what the rock guy specifically means. I'll have to look into that one. I forgot that guy. Sorry. Then the MK-82 and the MK-82 Snake Eyes are dumb bombs. The 82 specifically is a 200-pound bomb. The Snake Eye is a 200-pound bomb with a retarder on it, or retardant fins, that after the bomb deploys, the fins come out to slow the missile down. And that's really mainly for low altitude bombing, because as soon as you deploy hit your weapon release or pickle button, and the bomb goes down, you don't want it to blow up in your face. So you kind of want it to like slow down, let you get away from it a little bit, and then hit your target, right? And the same thing with the 82 Yankee. It's the same bomb, but instead of having fins that come out and slow it down, it has a balloon, I guess, that will slow it down, kind of like a parachute, I guess. I haven't played with them. We'll check them out. The MK-83 is another 80 series bomb. That's a 500-pound. So we have our 200-pound and 500-pound. The BDU-33, which one was that? Oh, that's a dummy bomb. That's for training. Those are just like pieces of plastic and metal. So we're never going to select those guys. GBU-38s. Is that all for the MKs? No, there's also an MK-84 down here. The MK-84 is a 1,000-pound bomb, but dumb bomb. So, oh, and then the 83, did I mention that? The 83s? Yeah, you can. So you can't have two of the 84s because they're so large. Up here you can have two of them, and that's where the BRU-33s are. Allows you to have multiple bombs attached to the same pylon. So CBU-99 again is our cluster. GBU-10 is, anytime you see GBU, it's guided bomb unit. So there's some guidance. It's a smart bomb, right? It's not dumb. It's not just going to free fall into nothing. So you got the 10, 12, 16, and 24. The 10 is a 2,000-pound bomb, and I don't understand the numbering system on this because you'll see the 12 is a 500-pound, and the 16 is a 1,000-pound. Then the GBU-24 is the same as the GBU-10, but better. So all these here are called Pavways. I think Pavways. I don't know. But they basically took one of the MK-82s and threw a GPS guiding system on it, right? Or a MK-84 or 83 or something, like an 80 series dumb bomb, and put brains on it, right? However, with the GBU-24, it was kind of built a little bit better. They have a longer glide, bigger fins, longer glide, so they have bigger distance that you can release, greater accuracy, more penetration, bigger boom, and more versatility, because I guess you can change it to do certain things. You can have it free fall or do certain things, I guess. I don't know. We're going to play with it in the game and actually see what we can do with it in the game. Because some of the stuff, like I got the information, it's real world Wikipedia information, but I'm not sure how much it is modeled in the game or not. But so these are all basically GPS guided bombs. The 10 and the 24 are your 2,000 pound. The 16 is your 1,000 pound, and the 12 is your 500 pound. So again, these why would you take the 12 when you got a 24 or a 10? Weight, right? Then GBU 31s, you can see there's 4 different versions of the 31s, and they actually do very similar things. The V1 and the V2 are identical. The V3 and the V4 are identical from my Wikipedia research. The V1 is used by the Air Force, the V2 is used by the Navy and the Marine Corps, the V3 is used by the Air Force, and the V4 is used by the Navy and Marine Corps. So V1 and 2 are, let's see, how many pounds? 2,000 pound JDAMs, so GPS guided bombs, which are really cool. I think we had a video where I bombed some buildings that I shouldn't have. Actually, you'll see that maybe in the next video. But yeah, so you just punch in the coordinates, and when you get in range, you hit release, and they land on their target using GPS. Pretty cool. That's the 1 and the 2. The 3 and the 4 are the same, except they have armor penetration. They're a little bit sturdier and can penetrate armor a little bit better. So, and that particular mission, I probably could have gone with the 1 or the 2, but I think I went with the 3 just to make sure if any of those buildings were hardened, we got through them. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. GBU 38. This guy is a JDAM as well. 500 pound guided GPS bomb. So it's a 500 pound JDAM versus the 2,000 pound. Oh, and then this one I always think is part of these. The 32 V2 is the 1,000 pound. So for GPS guided bombs, you got the GBU 38, 500 pound, GBU 32, 1,000 pound, GBU 31, 2,000 pound, with the version 3 and 4 being armor penetration. Then Mark 20, we said I got to look that up. And I see there's an MK20 and an MK20 Rockeye. I'm thinking these, I'm gonna actually put these on there. I'm thinking these are cluster bombs. So let's put those on there. I don't know what the difference is here, so we'll actually do that.
Request refueling. Request rearming.
All right, so
Copy.
yes, that's all the bombs now. Fuel tank, the only option we have is a 330 gallon fuel tank. You can put one on pylons, I think 8, 7, and 5, 3, and 2. So, no. Nope.
Refueling complete.
So bombs, fuel tanks, you can have it on 7 and 3 and 5. That's it. So, or all 3, right? So you can have another 330 gallons per tank to give you that extra range. It burns up pretty quickly when you're an afterburner, so always useful. For the pods, we have the data link pod, and that only can go on 7, 3, I believe. Yep. And 5.
Rearming complete.
Oh, wait. Did that say data link pod? Oh, I don't know why we need that. I don't understand what that's for. Sorry. I was thinking it was the lightning pod or the FLIR camera, IR camera. So I don't even know why you'd put this. It's already in the aircraft. Maybe it gives you better range or something. I'm not sure. So while we're talking about pods, you can put the lightning pod on station 4 and station 5. That's it. Oddly enough, it can't go on station 6. So it's always going to go on here or here. Having it on 5 is kind of nice because you have less masking. You'd think you'd have less masking, but actually offsetting it, you just fly to the right of your target and it will laze to your left, right? and you can fly around in an orbit around your target, constantly lasing that target. I guess you could do it with the center line too. I don't know. Okay, so back to this. The last thing is our rockets, and I really kind of stopped looking into this stuff because there's really only two types of rockets: your M151s, high explosive rockets, and your Zuni MK71s. They're little tiny rockets that blow shit up. I'm not sure which ones are better and which ones aren't. I know this one gives you 19, right? Like these remind me of like something you throw on an Apache or something, but we have them here too, or an A10. But this is a multi-purpose jet, so we can have them. All right, so and let's take a look. Yeah, those CVU 20s or MK 20s are cluster munitions. And I don't see a difference. Oops. I'm not seeing a difference between the Rockeye and that. I'll have to dig into that a little bit more. But MK20s are other types of cluster bombs, which might be fun to play with. I might play with both of them. Maybe one of them is a training one, but you can get two of these, so I don't suspect so. I'm not sure. So that's all the munitions that you can put on the jet. For the campaign that I'm actually running, the Liberation campaign, I probably won't do anything with rockets. If I need to bomb something, maybe with close air combat or close air support with the front line, if I wanted to do that role, maybe I could throw some rockets up in there and blow some tanks up. That might actually be kind of fun. Oh, and I wanted to show you Station 8. That is the JSOW. Really long-range GPS-guided bomb. Notice on the back of it, it's not a missile. Nothing makes it go forward except gravity. But you can kind of make it out here. I can't really zoom in and point at things. Maybe we'll just get up and I'll toss one off if I can. I'm not even sure if they'll let me toss it off without having coordinates, but we're going to do a very, very, very proper takeoff here. I guess I'll arm my ejection seat. And this is yeah. I'm gonna have to trim my aircraft. It's much heavier on the right side, so it's pulling the wing down. So yeah, some trim's got to happen here. Too much. Right wing down a little bit more. That should be good for our purposes anyway. Alright, so we'll go to our stores page, our JSOWs. Yeah, it's not going to let me fire it. Electronic fuse, instantaneous. Oops, air to ground mode. And JSOW display. Yeah, I think I'd have to punch something in to actually get it to launch. Maybe one day I'll actually learn this air to ground radar over here, because there's something over here maybe we can shoot at. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, there is something there. All right, I can't slew my cursor. I don't know how to use that at all. So I can't even pick a target. Oh man, we're still right side heavy. Oh no, that was just bad trim. Yeah, no, it's right side heavy. And bed trim. Okay, so, oh well, I wanted to fire it off. Oh, I did. So you can see it has wings come out. And it flies like a plane, like a plane. Kind of neat. But it has a pretty far range. I'm not sure what the exact range is. Nobody's flying my plane right now. I like how they had the missile sound. Maybe that's my jet. Maybe I'll pull up. Or whatever. Let's. All right, so that'll do it.